What is going on, guys? Today's video we are talking about how to know if your Ford vehicle has been tuned before. So I recently put the 2.5 pulley 90mm idler and had BJ over at Venomous Tuning tune my car. So this is a perfect example that I can show you on how to get in and tell if a car has been tuned. Now I don't know exactly what year this started in. I know 2010 and up for sure. I don't know if anything older than that this trick works on. Maybe some of you Ford techs can drop it down in the comments and let us know if there's a cutoff on when this is applicable or not. What you're gonna need to do this is a scan tool that'll read mode 9 data. So this is just an aftermarket Autel scan tool. There's a lot of different ones that can do this. So if you can just find a scan tool that reads mode 9, you'll be able to do this. First thing we need to do is plug into our OBD port and turn the key to on. Now that we're plugged into the car and the key is on, we need to come in and set our scan tool up. Just tell it what we're working on. Go forward and just scroll all the way over. Mustang 5.4, 4-valve, 2012. Going to get into the system. Once again, what we're looking for is mode 9 data. Now, all scan tools are going to be a little different. This one we actually go in here to service, powertrain, and then OBD test modes. You'll see right here, mode 9, vehicle information. It's going to tell you, make sure the key's on, the engine's off. Now there are a couple things we're looking at here. The first thing that tells me, hey, something's a little different with this one is right here in this first calibration, it just has an H. So that tells me this thing's probably got a tune in it, but that's not gonna tell me if you bought a car, somebody had completely returned it back to stock for you to know, has it been tuned in the past? So we're gonna keep scrolling. And what we're looking at here is right here, ignition counter. See how that says 19. So this car has about 25,000 miles on it. So if we take that mileage, so 25,000 divided by 19, that means that this car, if it had not been tuned, means it had been started 19 times in its entire life, which would mean it had driven about 1,300 miles per key cycle. That's not realistic. So this ignition counter is really what we want to come in and look at. So every time that you put a new tune in the vehicle, this number gets reset. So that is how, if you take your car back to the dealership, they're going to go in and look at this, and even if you flash that thing back to the factory tune, they're going to be able to tell it because of this ignition counter. So a car this age, 25,000 miles on it, I would expect this to be, 800 to 1,000, more of along the lines of about 20-25 miles per key cycle would be more along the average on a stock car that's never had a tune in it. So there's a lot of other things that you can look at too. So like this, supercharged car, you suspected it had a pulley on it, I would pull this plug off the supercharger inlet shaft and see if I see any marks like they had a puller on it or something like that. You can look at bolts, see if things have been taken apart. Those are also going to be indications that maybe it's been modified in the past. But the best way, once again, is just looking at that mode 9 data. Gives you those ignition cycles You can figure out how many miles are on the car and see if it makes sense with how many key cycles it's had. If it's a really low number, that tells me that it's recently been tuned. And in the scenario of a car that you believe is stock, that means it was probably returned to stock and the factory tune was put back in the car. Hopefully that clears up some confusion and helps a few guys out there that are looking to buy a car and you want to know if it's ever been tuned or not. If this does help, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. I'll see you guys next time.